Okay, so it's 3:45. You know what's funny too is on the videos, it shows the one. It was the last one was 12 hours ago, which it would have been making it in the morning. So it would have been made 24 hours ago, but it didn't go on for so. And it was totally clear. So I have no idea. I can't figure out at all what the problem is. Of But I do know that usually if I put one on that's got hashtags and one on that doesn't and have them going at the same time, because they'll keep flipping back and flipping back. And when it's going good, one will push the other and it will go. But so often that it's the one with no labels or anything. Because I always think it's them. I think it's that. And then they are doing such bullshit. Like, I don't go and read every single one on comments and stuff, like in the, views. And it used to, there used to be more. It's just like whatever they're doing to my account, it just goes down. And which can be really frustrating, where you can get really angry at the universe or whatever. But I get certain messages back from that whole thing. But but so there was one of the videos, just in the top ones, that were it was getting a bunch of views. And so I had noticed, and the last time I had seen it was 209. So I go to bed. Then I get up the next day and it's 203. So they just tip it back. Now it's 204. But that, like, how do you lose views? Like, so whatever they do is so manipulated and it's so frustrating. And it's just frustrating as fuck. It's bullshit. It just seems like, how do you even get away with this shit? And why? Why can't I just freely talk and have a regular platform like everybody else? Why is it got to be so manipulated all the time? It's just such fucking bullshit, man. So, which I will say also, that mouthwash. So yesterday, I put like a mouthful of water and then put like a tiny sip of that stuff in there. And I think he says it's peppermint extract or something that he uses, but it became so hot again. I couldn't believe, there's no way I could go past like 30 seconds again. It was like my mouth was on fire. Now it is so freaking hot. So hopefully it's doing some work in there. But yeah, it's not. And you definitely, when you spit it out, you feel like you are minty fresh. Like it is hardcore. So let's see. I don't know if it's making any difference yet. Still. And I'm not using the peroxide while I'm using this. So I'm just the hydroxyapatite toothpaste and this wash stuff. So in the darkness, it isn't. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell so much, but it's like the depth of it. It's not like a hole, but it's like the depth of it has to like heal. And the darkest color is when it's like building up, and then it gets lighter and more orange is what I've noticed. And then it, I'll just be glad when it's fucking finished. Like, God. I thought, when it very first started, I thought it would go way faster. Just like the same thing with my hair. I thought that would go way faster. When it starts going and you start seeing like, oh my gosh, my hair's changing. Oh my gosh, my tooth's growing back and stuff. And then you think it's going to go fast, but I don't know. To me, it goes kind of slow. Everything just kind of goes slow to me. Like all of this fucking shit. All of the, I don't know. It's like nonsense. So fucking much nonsense. God damn. My mom's cable was back on yesterday morning. She was so excited. But so every time I walked into the room again now, I was hearing stuff. Some of this stuff, I'm just like, oh my God. And they just get so focused. And I don't think she realizes how much they focus on division. Like it's one group against another group. Constantly talking about, how stupid the other group is and stuff. And it's just, there was, I don't know, some of the stuff that they talk about is just, irritating. And it's these different podcasts on this channel, whatever channel this is, but Jack Prosbiak or whatever his name is, he's one of them. And I didn't know he was religious when I would see him on Twitter. I didn't know who the hell he was or where he came from. He was just all of a sudden everybody cared about his opinion. And but maybe it had been a long time. I just didn't know who the hell he was. But now I see him on there, and he has a podcast. And there's a few more, but I don't know. It just is like, I don't know. I just can't listen to something that's just like pounding something into your head, man. I don't know. I'm just so, I'm just tired of all this shit, man. I'm so ready to fucking, I feel like a snake that's been dragging its dead skin around with it for fucking years, man. I'm ready for it to fall off. It's like we gotta purge out of this. Which apparently, there was somebody saying that one mayor has started the purge in their community and has decided to hand out the blue stuff to all the homeless people. So if you're homeless, just line up. We got a little blue pill for you. It's going to be all better. Oh, God. It's just so crazy how absurd some of this shit has to get. What is some more of the absurd shit? I just was watching this one video of this woman who... she's in New York, and she just went to China, and she was saying that, so she was comparing, and she was saying that over there, they're, because everybody's like, oh, so what, they're communists, so what, they're communists, which, yeah, I've had that same thing. You say something good about them, and then people are like, so what, they're communists. It's like, but they are not the kind of communists that we understand. They're not like, I mean, they have a government rule or some kind of thing over them, but also their government puts the money back into the community. They don't take the money and go buy themselves an island or something. Well, they make a lot of money off of our people who go over there and pay them for kids and shit. So there's a lot of corruption. But there's, can you hear the crickets? It was so fucking trippy last night. Because yesterday morning, because in the middle of the night, I heard the crickets yesterday. So then I am like, oh, fuck, what is that? Like fucking 3 crickets in here or something? Are they all fucking talking to each other? Like, what the hell? And it's so loud. And so I was like, fuck, man. So I did my recording, and I must have got, it must have been when I got up and turned on any light. They just shut it down. They were just dead ass quiet. They didn't make another fucking peep. And so all day long when I would come in here, I wasn't hearing anything. And so I was like, okay, well, the crickets must have took off. They're like, hell no, let's all go. And so they left. And so then I'd open the garage door, which there's no moon, by the way. Again, and it's clear as fuck out there. And there hasn't been a moon in days. Then the, so when I opened it and I heard crickets outside, then I was like, well, I don't know, it made me shift my thoughts into the crickets inside. And so then I came in and I shut the door, but then I started hearing it. It was like I couldn't hear it before, but then all of a sudden I could hear it. And then it started getting super, super loud. And then it started blending in with the electronic noises. And then I fell asleep. But then when I just got up again, and I was like, man, this sound is so, it's almost like it's hard to differentiate between the electronics humming and the crickets, but I can hear the crickets. It's like, it's such a high-pitched, like, sound. And I can hear it. I don't know. I don't know. It's bothering me, though. It's bothering me, like, inside of my head. And it's like the noise of the world is turned up or something. And yeah, I don't know. But I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it. It sounds like, it just sounds like the sound is all around me. And see how that one just went, it did like a little, and then it went back to the thing, which our little cat has disappeared. And now my mom's all upset. I had gone up there the other day though, and I had said the cat's out there. You got to go down and see it. Like it came out to me. I was purring and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, I'm way too sick. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm way too sick." It's not come back since then, and so it's weird. It's weird how things like that happen. Oh, and I've seen like this one guy started talking about time and how he's noticed that time slows down when you're doing something you don't want to do, and it speeds up when you're doing things that you like to do. I was like, man, that's so trippy when I see adults realize things that I realized when I was little. It's like, what has everybody been thinking about their whole life? Like, what? Trips me out. So anyways, on this woman going to China. Oh yeah, there's another thing too that I want to say before I start on that, because it seems longer. Hold on, this is my third cup of as I've been at, but it is also a weird thing. Is like how much I'm sleeping. It's weird. It's so weird because I'll be up for like a little while. I'll eat. I'll start looking on my phone or turn on a movie or something or go outside, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden I'll just feel so tired. And I'll think, okay, you just got up, you're fine. And then my eyes will start burning and burning. It's like, oh my God, I cannot hold my eyes open. I gotta go lay down. And so I'll go lay down, conk out, wake up. It's been an hour. I think it's I don't know. I think sometimes it's a half hour. Sometimes I'm losing track of everything. And so I get up, just go start doing things again. And then it happens again and again and again. It's like I'm neck, what is that called? Those people that can't stay awake. That's what I feel like right now. And I feel like I'm turning into a dog. They sleep like 18 hours out of 24 or something. But then I think, okay, well, you're probably not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Now you slept all fucking day, and go in, sleep all night, and then I'm getting irritated if Stella's waking me up. It's like, damn, dude, I'm sleeping, I'm out, and it's so weird is how out that I go. Like it's weird. It's not just like dreams. There's like lessons. It's like you're learning things. It's like a communication. It's like a whole thing is going on. I mean, I kind of like being there. Here is, I feel, is so tedious. It's just is like, oh my God, everything drags and everything is like, oh God, the awakening is so tedious. So is this fucking throat clearing. I'm not fucking shut. So anyways, there was a couple of the little things I wanted to say though before I start on that one. One was I saw a woman who was talking about that they just found, I don't know, 7 tons of ashes in Poland, and then they checked it and it's human remains. And so she started talking about it's all these people they killed, I think, during World War II and hidden and stuff. Like, there's no telling any of the shit, you know, is like, yeah, I've been killing big groups of people for a long time. They don't give a fuck. Like, I don't know. I'll be glad when everybody realizes what this place is and what they're doing here, and everything isn't so scary. Everything is so scary, and so this other thing, I'd seen it because it's got so much talk with the Pope dying, and I'm sure I'm going to be talking more about, because the religion thing is just so wacky, man. It is so wacky, because even if you try and tell somebody, it's like, but the God you're worshiping isn't a good guy. Like, how can you not see that? It's not a good guy. You're worshiping somebody who's not a good guy just because they tell you he's a God. It's like, and then we have all this stuff shown to us, like there's lots of gods out there. You're worshiping one that's not very nice. And so, anyways, more of that shit's coming out. And so the indigenous people are trying to now, while the subject is hot on the market, is get people to understand It was the church coming in and killing them brutally. And then some of the stuff is so horrific. Like they would take their babies and feed them to dogs. And we know about all of those grave sites, those mass grave sites, and all of the horrible stuff that the church has done. And she said as the Catholics and the Christians have killed more indigenous people than the Aztecs ever did. And so anyways, that's going to keep coming because it is like to somebody who is looking out, like who feels like they are more, a godly perspective, that they think about spirituality, what's my soul doing here? What am I doing? What's the bigger picture here? When you go at life like that, and then you have these people who tell you, you're wrong. If you don't worship this guy, you're out, man. And then the guy who they worship is like, kills people, kills its own, like it creates them and then it kills them. I'm like, in brutal, horrible ways. Like, okay. So, and you're on board with that. Like you're gonna be the driver. You're gonna wait out front. Like it's mental. It's like you're gonna have to start taking responsibility for who it is you worship, man. And so, anyways, that's all coming to the surface. Like I don't know how it's all gonna play out, but people who follow these religions are gonna have to start seeing it more clearly and seeing what their religious leaders have been doing and stuff. Yeah, I don't even know about this, Pope was a bouncer before. Like, I don't know. I don't even know if it's true. I don't know where the hell he came from. I was surprised when I saw Zelensky's, he was just an entertainer, like a sexy entertainer kind of guy. Like, put on little tiny G-strings and slap boys on the butt kind of dancer. And so, I don't know. And then you end up, running a country and deciding if the whole world's going to die under your war, whatever you would think, your war idolization, your love of war. Oh yeah, this woman I just saw, I've seen her, I think, before. She might be the woman who talks about the maps and just the lies and stuff that were taught. But she was going on the melanin thing in white people. Because that's one thing where there's more talk of like, what the hell's a white person? And it's like, well, we're lab created. And this is the thing, is that people got to see, it doesn't matter what the shell is. It matters what's inside, and we're all the same inside. We're all orbs. Well, some of us are lizards, some of us are like, the lizard, the shapeshifting reptilians, so everybody is still the orb inside. You're still the spirit inside, no matter if theirs is little tiny and cold and rigid, or if theirs is big and bright and shiny and loving. It's everybody's got the thing that powers them inside of them. And I don't know if it kind of seems like back in the beginning when there was souls, and some souls went into different experiences, that these souls that went into, like reptilian, Draco, some of these souls that went into those have been in the same one for a long time, like millions of years or something, is that they don't evolve like we do. Like the reincarnation thing creates an evolution of spirit, because it becomes more aware, it becomes more caring and compassionate, and so it becomes brighter and shinier and stuff. And that almost is what separates the dark from the light. And it's like compassion and caring is like the separation. And so it's kind of like those ones being hindered or something, like a hindrance, but it's like they didn't realize until later. That's how it is going to be. Like this whole thing is supposed to be where we become more of galactic, uh, uh, galactic, galactic beings that are more appreciated and not so looked down on through this transformation that is occurring. And so the so anyways, some of these beings that have been like running the world are like low. I wouldn't say like they've been running the world, but yeah, well, this world. See, everything's micro macro. Like you could be talking about this world, this world, this world, but this world, yeah, that they have been. But that is how they've been running things. Is running things like in dark fashions in certain places, so they keep people like in the dark, and so it keeps them in the dark. But see, we go out of the dark, we go back to the light, and we go back to the dark to experience. So it's like we go back and forth, and then so that expands us. They can't get into the light because they don't expand. So whereas they were thought of emotions being weaknesses, it actually has benefited us to go through that and to expand. And I don't know, it seems kind of like the universe is comfortable with the way things are, but there could be a huge shakeup. There could be a huge shakeup where, maybe that's what we're in. Maybe there's a lot of dark beings that are trying to evolve at this time and move more into the light, because the dark keeps you so strapped. And I would assume there's always more energies, more souls coming in that can take up the room in the dark, because as long as you have ignorance, you're in the dark. You have to go through experience to be able to move and to find your balance, to figure out who you are. So there are so many of the beings that are more of the darker spirit. They are out of balance in consideration of what we would be in our light bodies. We would have more balance than they would have. And they, I guess if all you have to do is balance dark, but see, it's almost like then it's like, it just becomes like a battle over who's going to win, who's going to be the strongest, who's going to take over. So anyways, I don't know why I was talking about that, but I become so distracted. So on this woman, so I had seen, I don't know if she is the same woman, but there was the woman who was talking about the map. If you take the globe and you lay it out, but you need to shift it. You need to cut this part out, put it over here, because they've been lying about the things and where they are and all that, which I keep saying, but I don't think it's like, all laid out. I think it's like we're in the clouds in the sky of realities, and we're all in different things. So anyways, so she was talking about oh yeah, because I was talking about those souls inside. And so she was talking about the melanated people and the people who don't have any. And so she's saying white people don't exist. They haven't existed until like the 1600s or something. It might be even the 1800s. There was no such thing as white people. And I've talked about this stuff so like years and years ago. But anyways, so there was no white people, and there's just different tribes and stuff. Just like, if like we could look at somebody and like an Irish person and go, well, that's a white person. Well, you go up and ask them, are you a white person? They're saying, no, I'm Irish. So it's kind of like people come from these tribes, these places, but then in America, they tried to strip us of all culture and just make it just about our skin tone. There was nothing to us. We're just this, because they want to have a control over us, control over our minds, control over, and as long as you keep something weak where it doesn't know what it is, that's why you see so much of that in our culture and so much of it playing out, and such a push by the other, the side of controlling us. And so they want to keep us weak and insecure. But anyway, so she was saying that the reason there became white people It's like the same thing as what this bullshit to me that was in school about the equator. Depends on how close you are to the equator, what color your skin is. It's like, yeah, well, to a certain extent, but that doesn't, change a white person into a black person. Doesn't change a black person into a white person. But she said that's what has happened. So it was, everybody was a black person or a person of color, melanated skin. And then they started moving and people went into places where there was no sun, so they lost their melanin and that's how they became white. I don't think that's exactly right, because like I'm going out, I'm activating my melanin, so am I turning myself back into a dark person again? Because I mean, you can see a lot of white people go get a suntan and they don't turn back into dark-skinned people. So I think that seems a little silly. But I think it's more accurate, the lab thing, and realizing this science world that we are really existing in, and the technology is so far advanced beyond what we have any. In these people with the mostly dark in their orb, that they are. It's way more of they want to be masters. That's what fulfills them. And so the taking over and stuff, but it is it's a hot topic here because but the free will and how much our free will is manipulated and stuff. So it's this place is like a hotbed, man. And so the so the the ones that were trying to control, that they've been, that's how they started out with humans, was messing with other animals, and who knows what those were. They had to be some kind of, like, they looked around and they said, hey, those ones, look at how they work, look at how they move, look at how, and then they saw like there was potential, and then they took a whole bunch of different DNAs and stuff and started messing with them in order to make the human. But you got to remember, still, we aren't the thing. We are the thing inside. And people get so caught up on the outside, like, you're a black person, you're a brown person, you're this, you're that. It's like we're all the same inside. So as soon as this part falls away, we're all the same inside. We're just like different colors. It's like this color spectrum. It is not something of, this isn't real. And so there's no reason to get caught up in, like, well, we're created in a lab. We're not, because whatever they did after they were doing their reset is when they introduced a lot of white people. Well, they were doing those with that Cabbage Patch baby thing, that making these babies in the lab, the incubator babies, taking them around to the state fairs and shit, putting them on orphan trains, adopting them out. They were doing some shenanigans. And so it was like they made it. And there was a thing too where there was people became hostile towards immigrants, and so they made it to where people were embarrassed or ashamed of their culture, and they but it was like being bullied. And then they made it where being white was just what you were. You were just a white person or a dark person. You weren't, you weren't from all these other countries. You didn't have any of that. That was not, you had no culture or anything. You're just white or black. And then they created this tension, like God's all created, and they really do some shenanigans and shit to make it happen. Like, they don't just talk it into existence, they manipulate it into existence, and then they pair us up against each other and stuff. But that's why we have to see, like, this outer shell is nothing, and it doesn't make a difference if you were made in a lab. Just like if we find out, that we're all like cloned, where they said, well, 5 to 7 people all look alike, and then we find out, oh, well, we all came from the same clone, that's why. And maybe that's what they were tracking when they were looking on the 23andMe and stuff. They were trying to track their clone experiment or something. You know, I don't know. It's way more nefarious always. It's not like, you know, it's a party day for here. We want you guys to have fun. Go learn about yourselves. No, they're doing some shenanigans always. And so, but there's no reason for us to get caught up in all of that. Like, oh, well, I'm a clone. So fucking what? It's your vessel. It's just your fucking vessel. It's not who you are. Like, these people, like, I don't know. It's like they take it so serious. Well, I'm a black person. Well, so what happens when you come out of your body? Like, are you trapped? You only get to go in black bodies? Is that it? Because you're supposed to go in all different ones. So don't get your mind trapped in the outer shell as being who you are. Just like what I was saying yesterday about the frosting. People get so caught up in the frosting, they forget to look at what's in the cake. And so anyways, that's just as, I don't know, there's just so much weird stuff that I hear people saying, and that is true though about time. Time does go super slow when you are, that's why like when you're at work or at school and just drags and drags, and then you go out with your friends and you're doing something fun and it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe the time's over. Vacation, how fast a week can go, you know, or if you're just busy, how fast time can go. And but how slow and tedious it can be when you're not. And it's on such a broad spectrum of a level too, because I think that's a part of this tediousness of this rolling out of this awakening. It's just like, oh my God, it's so fucking tedious. Jesus. That it's just like, it's like a fucking things being explained in simple terms. It's like it has to go so simple. And it's like this breaking down and breaking down and breaking down information. And then people just start talking about it on this, I don't know. It's like it must be the part of people who aren't able to think outside the box or something. But anyway, so back on this lady so she went to China. And so she said the things that she saw, she said that, yeah, they're very controlled, but they're all super happy. And everybody is super nice to each other. She said the worst thing is they'll cut in line. They don't give a shit. They'll just all cut in line. But as soon as you call them out, they'll apologize and, you know, they'll put you back in your spot. But she said that everybody is like way more virtuous, way more, you know, I think there's more integrity because it falls back on the people. Like your choices, you have your own, your consequences, but they take responsibility for themselves in a way that over here, people don't take responsibility for themselves. It's always somebody else, just like all of these people. Like America is full of people who are overweight and then they don't see the part they play in it. It's like, you play a part. It isn't, yeah, cool. You know, I could eat ice cream and drink beer all day long, eat some cheeseburgers, which, oh, watch out for those. They're even finding, I mean, I've said this a couple years ago too. Sometimes it's just like, oh my God, how many times I gotta repeat this shit? But they, in the vegan meats and stuff like that, they've also found human DNA. So not just the hot dogs and all this stuff. It's gonna get worse and worse. This is just the lead in. People are gonna find, you know, they've been putting a slab of ribs on the barbecue. It's not cow ribs. Maybe they're gonna start showing us like, God, it's so disgusting. Oh my God. Some of this shit, like, yeah, when you get that slab of ribs, like, have you ever counted them? Like, I don't know. I mean, there probably has been some that's cow, but there's, like, the cows would have already gone extinct for how much meat is eaten. Like, we are devour. We are like locusts, man. So, yeah, it's kind of like the people in charge. They're just like, well, just feed them their own. But they are the ones who create this psycho bullshit. or people don't think, well, is this good for me? Am I taking care of myself? No. It's just like, well, God makes mistakes. I just got one of those bodies that gains weight. You should be able to eat. You should be able to just fucking plow through your day and consume everything you want and be fine. It's like, and that's not how it works. Like, there's more to taking care of yourself. It's not being overly indulgent, but it's also finding that balance and enjoying the things you enjoy. It's not cutting yourself completely off and living in lack. Like, there's so many girls on this big starvation thing now. I think that's the way, you just got to be super skinny. And it's like, no, you just need to take care of yourself, and your frame gives you your idea of your size. You come in a certain frame size. So the closer you stay to your frame, the healthier you're going to be. And where people just lose their frame and they just go out and become a completely different shape than their body, then they need to look at themselves as being indulgent in some way, that they're out of balance in some way. And like I've said a million times, is that a lot of about the weight gain is emotional distress. So that's why we have an emotionally dysfunctional society. We have a lot of people who are overweight because it's a way to cushion the blow. It's a way to keep yourself feeling like you don't feel everybody's energy so intensely. But then you start feeling bad about yourself. You start feeling like your body is going to also show you're not being healthy. You're going to be more tired when you're trying to go and do stuff. You're going to get more pains and all that stuff because your body does not want to be, it isn't meant to drag around extra weight. It is like your heart does not become bigger and stronger because you add on 100 pounds. It becomes like, fuck, what are you doing to me, man? And so, which is so trippy too, is because it's on such a different level than how we think of like the flesh and blood kind of level. It's more on a spiritual level too. It's like you are burdening yourself by weighting yourself down and trying to make yourself more comfortable is in a toxic way is going to have a blowback, and so people become insecure. They start thinking of themselves as just being fat. They don't like themselves. They don't like their body. And then this creation of this place in their trends and stuff to keep people just always on their toes, like, and what was that one? I just saw some other weird thing about a trend, and they do weird shit too. Like the whole, all of the society has gone in on Blake Lively for the past year. She's caught up in some bullshit, um, uh, justice things with this Justin guy, where they made charges on him for. Like she's flirting with him and saying, and then telling her husband, oh, he's trying to make me whatever. But she's and all of this stuff has come out. So anyways, all the people are like down on her, and then you have all these people coming out who know her, talking shit on her and stuff. So there's like a whole downer on her. Well, so then some organization, some gala, just not nominated, or what is that called, did a whole thing to elevate her. She's so great and stuff. And somebody was talking to Megyn Kelly out front of it. Megyn Kelly called the whole thing out. She was like, this is stupid. And said a whole bunch of other stuff. And then they talked to some other one, and they were just such a sellout. Oh yeah, this is so great. She's so great. And us as journalists, we're here to tell everybody the truth and good. And it's like, oh my God, this is wacky. And they just pick these people. It's the same thing with their fucking, what is that, like Academy Awards? It's the same thing that they pick and choose who they want us to. So they're trying to, whatever with those two, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. So whatever, her big thing, where they were, I keep hearing nominated, but it's not nominated. It's where they celebrate the person. And they get to go up and do a big speech about how wonderful life is and stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's stupid. So, and this is how these people all is like, I don't know. Because there's people caught up in it. There's people who are used by it. But there's a system who uses it. And it's like a distraction, a manipulation. It's all bullshit, man. It's so much bullshit. Like people just don't see the value of just living your fucking life. Just living your life. Being able to just live on a beach. Doesn't matter if you fucking live in a goddamn shanty house, whatever the fuck. You live in something made out of branches. Who fucking cares? You get to get up and just do whatever you want. You got to just live your life. People think that this is living. This is a slave world. It's not living. It's like you're manipulated and controlled. But so anyways, in the China thing, what that woman was saying, that the people are all controlled. Like everywhere you go, you have the face thing that they've got to check, like they're watching you and stuff all the time. But she said, but the people are all happy, they're nice, it's not anything. And it's like the videos and stuff, it shows it's like super clean. And she said that the people are in there's nothing, you're not allowed to sell. So there's no commercialism shit. Like there's none of this shit where you're being sold shit all fucking time. Especially here, it's just basically gone down to pharmaceutical, like every commercial, which now Nike is on board with. They're going to fund for them to hormone block boys to see if it changes their shoe size or some bullshit. I don't fucking know. This stuff is so stupid. And so the people over there, though, that they don't get sold shit. Like you can't sell shit, and you can't. And people don't talk about their religion. You're allowed to practice any religion you want, and most of the people are Buddhist, but there's Christians and all of Muslims and stuff like that. But there's I was just thinking, is that Muslim is the religion, or is that the culture it comes from? Well, anyways, whatever that, Allah, because they're God. And then, so you're allowed to practice whatever God you want to believe in. But most of the people are Buddhist, which that's what I appreciate more, is the Eastern philosophy of life. And so that, which she said what they practice is Kung Fuism or something like that. Confusion, I don't know, but she said it comes from like Kung Fu and stuff like that. So like their philosophy is, if you steal once, then that's okay, but if you continue it, then you're a criminal. And so it's one thing to go and learn by your mistakes. So see, they have a philosophy of learning from your mistakes. So people have to take responsibility for themselves to learn by their mistakes. But that's what makes a huge difference. In our world, it is like it's not, they try and sell us on this big justice, but there is no justice. It's paid for. We have the fucking judge that just got busted. And there's gonna be so many more of these judges. These people are criminals. And this one, so he has one of these MS-13, whatever the fuck, these guys living in his house or something. He's giving him G-wins. He's going out and hanging with the whole gang of them and stuff. A judge, like a judge who's making decisions over our lives. This is what he's done. This is what he's doing in his spare time and hiding them out and shit. And then, you know, there's like preparing them to go, and then they get their orders, you know, go massacre that family over there, go massacre this one over there. And then there was one, yesterday I saw a clip of, it was a 7-year-old came running out in the streets screaming, and daddy's killing us all. And I don't know how, I think he killed the other people in the family. It's just a 7-year-old who escaped or something. I don't know the whole story yet. There's so many of these going on. So fucking many horrible, tragic things happening all at the same time. and you know, we got to be moving. I mean, every day that we're not there, we're moving closer. So, but it is like a tedious thing. It's like we're moving like a sloth. Like, I do these walks all the time. And yesterday, when I was taking one of her dogs, I was like, I thought the sloth was bad enough, but you can go slower than that, because that's what Dakota was doing yesterday. I was like, oh my God. Like, I swear, when you're irritated, just go in and walk with the dogs. Can be so like, oh my God. Yesterday it felt so intense. Oh my God. The energy just felt intense. The sun is blaring hot. I had an egg. I was making some egg sandwiches, and so I picked up an egg and my thumb just went right through it. I was like, well, I'm not eating that one. And so later on in the day, it was super duper hot. I had taken the dogs in the backyard, but they just want to chase the cats. It drives me fucking crazy. And then there's more dogs because of her dogs, and said that all the dogs love me. And it's probably, you know, give them treats. I believe the thing that changes is when you acknowledge them, is when they are tuned in. Like, when you pay attention to them, then they love you. And I think that's the difference in, like, the awakening, where they say, like, do animals love you and stuff? Well, that's what I believe, is because I talk to them, I notice them, I pay attention to what they need and stuff, and they love you for it. It's like, so I have all of them, and they come up, and especially when you don't have pants on, and it's hot, so I have a swimsuit on, and they come up just tapping you like a little fucking woodpecker with a little cold nose, sniffing you, just sniffing you, sniffing you, sniffing you, and you look at them, and then they want to lick you. It's like, I was laying on the thing the other day, and I look up, and I've got all these dog faces right here, and they'll start licking me. It's like, oh no, God. I have them come try and lick me in my mouth. It's like, oh my Lord, have mercy. This is so much. So, anyways, I got that. And my crazy ass dogs, they're just chasing the cats and acting like fools. So I was like, I gotta go. And our little tiny spot right over here is so peed smell, and that smell of whatever was up with Stella's pee is so intense. It's like, oh God. It's just, I don't know, and the heat is just fucking boiling hot, and it's just intense. Everything feels intense. So anyways, I took that egg and I put it in my cast iron skillet, and I set it out in a pan out there, which it did cook, of course. I knew it would, 72 degrees, cook an egg outside, because it's not. And I don't understand. Like, my mom and I were having this whole talk about the weather, and it's like it's supposed to be like 72. I think it was supposedly went up to 73 at 7 p.m. last night or something. And then so it's gonna go, supposedly it's gonna be cloudy today, then it's gonna be sunny, or maybe sunny 2 days or whatever. But over the next few days, it's gonna be cloudy, then some sunny, cloudy, then some sunny. But when it gets up to the sun ones towards the end of the 7-day thing, it is going to be 76. I was like, this is April. This isn't even May. I said, we're going to be up in the hundreds. Because she's like, oh, it's so nice to have it so warm so early in the season. I was like, well, it's going to go up to the hundreds. It's going to be extreme. Like, this is April. And I don't remember then, because I know where her mind goes is like, oh my God, here we go again. Because I believe that stuff is being controlled and manufactured. Like, where the fuck is the moon? Where the fuck is the moon? And so anyways, I was like, it's going to be extreme. And it's like, people don't notice, like, the sun is already blaring us. It feels like it's like 90 at least. And she did acknowledge that, like, the sun, it's so hot. It feels way hotter than 70. It's like, really? So anyways, I don't know what the real, I was like, well, if I was at home and I had my thermostat or my little temperature thing, I would set it out and see what the sun would drive it up as and get that. But I don't know. I don't believe Because I was already doing those tests before, and it's way colder than they tell us, and it's way hotter. Like, but the hotness, you have to be in the direct line of the sun. It's when the sun goes behind a cloud or something, it can all of a sudden be like fucking freezing. But as soon as it comes back out, it's cooking you again. So I don't know, and I don't know what the real temperature is, but fuck, man, it's hot enough right now to cook an egg in a pan, sitting outside. It all became cooked, so it is uh, it's only going to get hotter. It's only going to get more extreme. But also, it's the energy, which I saw somebody saying that the reason the moon or the sun is getting hotter is our energy. We're creating this. So our energy is creating this heat, which I don't know. But things are becoming more intense in the micro macro. It's going to. And so I don't know. It's like everything is going to get so intense, but something's going to blow. Something's going to go. And some of this stuff, like, fuck, it just goes on the political thing. Like, okay, so we have the indigenous people now who are, yeah, it's kind of like capitalizing over it, but it's like this stuff has to come out. Like, you have to. And so you have the perfect opportunity to start saying, hey, this guy died, but they're a bunch of bad people. They've been killing us and slaughtering us in horrible, horrible ways. And they've been out to get the indigenous people because they want to put their white people creation in there, or anybody who will succumb to control. So the people over here in this place, they want total control. It's we live in a giant, as far as they're concerned, it's a corporate lab that we live in. Corporation rules us, runs us, but that's all going down. They are losing in court now because they had changed, because they've made it where they're going back on the constitutional, but they had already been putting people in. I think that some could see, but others, I don't know that everybody could see that some of these judges, some of these lawyers and stuff, I think they believed in the corporate law and stuff, that they didn't see that that was trying to override our rights. And so, but the corporation now is losing in court. So I don't know if like some of these judges are, I don't know how it's working. Like if they're seeing, if they are understanding, if they're being placed, if some were arrested because of things and stuff. I guess it's probably a lot of different things playing out. But there's gonna be more and more of the judges that are going to go with the Constitution, because we're going to go back into, that's the closest thing that gives us human rights. And then we have people out, who want to take away our human rights. I guess even the guy who supposedly is going to take Klaus's position now, because Klaus stepped down, which he probably was really, met his maker, is that he believes it's not a human right to have water. Like we don't have any rights whatsoever to anything. This new guy, but of course it's going to be more and more extreme, because it's to wake people up. It's to get to people to be like, what? We shouldn't be allowed to have water, and so people got to wake up to that. Like, well, I need water. But I mean, they got so many people hooked on soda and shit. There's some people that don't even drink water ever. But you still need to wash your hands. You still need to take a shower. You still need to wash your dishes and stuff. So then they think that we shouldn't have, the group of people who want to be in charge of us want to be in total charge of us, in total control of our lives. And they want us to go more into cages and ask permission to come out of our cage and stuff. It's like a total prison system. Everything is based on, like, we live in a giant prison system, and they're poisoning us. And we've all allowed this. We've accepted it. And it's been built around us for a long time. And so that's why it's got to be dismantled slowly, because people, it's like I don't know, because I kind of see it like somebody coming out of a cult, but it's more than that too. It's like this fragile psyche of people's minds. So it's like it's got to be slowly taken down, because people are fragile. And they don't know how to think for themselves. They don't know how to look at things. Like, it doesn't, I swear to God, like, these indigenous people can fucking scream this from the mountaintops. They can say it and say it. And those of us listening, like, we know, like, and we can tell people, but the people who refuse to see it, we're going to keep worshiping these people. And the church and the crown has been, you know, the mask that has been infiltrating our lives the entire time. And they got so many people to be on board on the church and stuff, but you got to stop and think, like, yeah, these people are crazy. Like, I don't even know how you can watch any of this shit on the Pope and not be like, these people are a bunch of fucking weirdos with their fucking hoods and their masks and all their weird fucking, you got to have how many ceremonies for this shit? Like, I don't know, it's wacky. But but these people have been out killing anybody who won't. It's like the way I kind of see it is like these people going out into the world, and they come across these tribes. When they want the land, they look at the tribes as being not worthy. They look at them as being expendable, like they don't matter. And it's trippy too, because not all the tribes are earthbound, or they aren't all from Earth. But these people don't give a fuck, because they battle anybody. That's what these ones are. They are just, it's kind of like they just go through the universe battling, and then they sat down here and put their flag down, and then they just spread it around everywhere and started conquering this place. And then, but that would include different colonizing planet, whatever you want to think these places are, or these other beings from other places, these aliens. And so when they come here, and then these people want to take them over and kill them and stuff. And so then they go out into the world and, you know, to place their flag and take over. And they do it like they're trying to help the people out or whatever. But and I think their thing is, it is so against him, is because the tribes were closer to God. So it's, I don't think it's so much of, because melanin, like I said, there's something with the melanin, and the same, it's like iron or something. It's like something in your blood that or something in your vessel that it helps with your communication, your spiritual side. And so that, to me, is why they went. And I mean, they've got a heavy influence over a lot of people who are darker skinned, who have lost their contact with their spirit too, because that has been a huge intention by these beings. But there's people who, when they went and attacked the tribes and stuff to take them over, that's what I think was their thing. Like, they wanted to take them over, and if there was some that would become compliant or something, but they want to mostly just kill them, because the connection to spirit is what that they in the world that they want to create. We are kind of like them, like we don't care, but they've got to beat that out of us. And so that's what they are actively doing, trying to beat us down and beat it out of us to care about each other and stuff, because they don't care about that shit. And like I said, they see that as a weakness. And so we are the weaker ones because we care. But our caring is what's going to make the things turn. Is how things are going to turn the other direction, is because we care. And so the light wins, the caring, the compassion, that wins over the hate and control. And that's what, as the people awaken, that's what they've got to see in themselves, is how much that they've adapted to the hate and the control. Because there's so many people out there who are vicious bullies, hateful motherfuckers, and they don't see it in themselves at all. They feel like they're validated in their beliefs and stuff like that. So but that's what the awakening thing is about, is this reconnection to yourself. But they do have so much manipulation and stuff over people's minds. But that is the thing, that they don't want us to be connected to something bigger than us, to something outside of us, because then that gives you purpose, it gives you hope, it gives you faith, it gives you, it gives you something deeper. And they want to keep us, where life is scary. Everything's out to get us. These people are here to protect us. We got to do whatever they say. And the climate, the planet can't handle it. We got to go and live the way they say in order to protect the planet, which is so fucking absurd. I swear to God. I can't believe how many people buy onto that. It's like, that just tells me that there's a lot of people who have not gone and driven anywhere. Like, if you have never driven anywhere, if you just fly everywhere or you just stay put, then you're not going to see. Most of the country is open land. It was land that they've decided that they own. They've sold it to Chinese. They've sold it, like, they're pulling shenanigans, but it's not their land. And they can't do shit. And it's all going to be coming apart because it's all just pretend. They just pretend like they own it. They tell us they own it. But you can't own the earth. Like, you just can't. They can try and have say over our souls, but they can't. It's all going to blow up in their face, because we are going to reconnect. People are connecting with people all over the place now. It's opening their minds and seeing other cultures, seeing other people. And there is, when you move out of the cities and stuff, there's tons of open land. They just want to jam pack us in a place, give us the illusion that we're overcrowded, and then make it, which creates criminals. They create confirmation. They create criminals doing all this shit. And because it is like, yeah, you steal once, then, you're learning, and you keep on continuing, well, then you've made a choice. And it's like, in this culture and this civilization that they've created in America, is like, the people just keep being pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And things get worse and harder and harder. It feels like you go into a hole and you can't get out. And so people become overwhelmed and burdened. But people don't realize, like, to go inside, you find your answers inside. Because once you start seeing, like, oh, well, you're here to go through this so that you can grow out of it. Like okay, like, this to me stands out. Like, it's because my mom and I were talking about the vision thing. She's now trying to do more natural stuff, but she's still going to take in the things that they put in there, because she's still trying to figure out how to get the more expensive one, because now she has to do the cheaper one because of insurance. And so, when my eyes were at their worst and I thought I could go blind, to me, I had to find peace with that, because I'm not going to continue doing their stuff. They were making my eyes worse. So it was like, I was going to, to me, it seemed like, well, if you came here to be blind, if you came here to go through that experience, then you're going to be going towards that experience. And you can fight it, and you can cry and all that shit, but if you're here to experience what life is like to be a blind person, then that's what you're here to experience. And so, in my perspective of being spiritual, then that is how I look at it. It's like, whatever's coming, like, you do certain things, but if it's not working and it keeps going, it's meant to be. And people just, like, give no reverence to what's meant to be. And it's like, there's certain things that are meant to be. There's destiny. Which, it just trips me out so much, how religion is such an interference to the spiritual perspective of what's meant to be and fate and all that stuff. And I mean, even if you come out of your body, you're a demon. If you even, like, so So she had said that there was no way when she was faced with that she was going to do all of this stuff like she's doing, and but see, to me, then it's like, but we're not supposed, like, there's certain things that becomes in your lessons. So there's like a parameter. Like, to me, the parameter seems to be what's natural, what's organic. We're natural, we're organic. So when we are doing that, the interference is from the people who want to control us. And so when they want to do something that isn't, that is chemical and stuff, see, that to me is, then that's when we're going over into their thing, which I think we're supposed to stay in our lane. And so we're not supposed to go get parts cut out. We're not supposed to go get, like say you got something going on with your heart. When you go into it spiritually, what is it you're holding on to? What is it you're not cleansing? What is it that's hurt your heart? What's broke your heart? And what do you need to focus on emotionally in order to make your heart not feel so broken, is one aspect. Then the other thing would be that there is teas, there's natural things that can cure your ailments in your heart. So you drink dandelion tea. Maybe you drink dandelion tea and you sit in reflection for a half hour every day. You drink your cup of tea, you don't talk to anybody, you just sit and outside in nature, listen to the birds, drink your tea, and think about the things that have hurt your heart, and you heal through that. And if you don't go into them and say, here, fix my heart for me, and then they cut it open and do all this shit to it. So that to me is when you are taking their interference stuff, and they may be able to prolong it, but they're putting a band-aid on it. You're not really doing what it is that you need to do to heal the things. So see, some of the things are, like when I was not being able to see, and I was, it was scary. And when I had asked them, and they said, well, it's because you need to focus on your inner vision. So your outer vision is fucked up right now because you need to focus on your inner. And so there's reasons like, you got something going with your heart or something. It's because you need to focus on something. You need to take time and focus. So anyways, there's a natural way to me of, if I were to go blind, then that would be a part of my story. It wouldn't be like, well, you should have went in and taken this. You should have done this. You should have done that. It's like I'm fighting against my own destiny. And so once I've let them interfere, so to me, it's like when you're doing the natural things, you're taking care of yourself, you're finding your mind, body, spirit, and it's still going in a certain direction, it's because you're here to experience what is it when you can't see outside. You can only see inside. And there's things you learn from every experience. There's parts of you that grow. There's parts of you that come. It's a new branch of you comes out. And so many people fight that. It's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. And it just trips me out when it comes down to people who think that they're, close to God. But then it's like, but what is the relationship, man? Like, why do you not trust any of the things that happen? Why are you fighting your life path through the whole thing? And why? That's how these people get a hook on you. That's how they get control over you, because we're fighting our life paths. We're not just going with the flow. We're not just trying to get in touch with, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to be doing here? And it's not as, you don't need to be the CEO of a big corporation in order to complete the task. Or, if that's your life journey and you're here to be there, then it's because of the lessons and stuff. So it's not, in order to be a success is the only thing. Success comes in I think success comes in becoming more in touch with yourself, being more, being more available to yourself, and being more understanding to yourself, and being like, it's just like your focus. And so anyways, but they keep people so distracted and so cut off from themselves, and they dangle these quick solutions. Oh, we can fix it, but they're not really fixing it. They're not really fixing anything. It's an illusion. And what they're really doing is practicing on us. they're Dr. Frankensteins, in that they are, well, does this work? Does that work? And my mom said, well, because I was talking about the animal, and I had seen a vet guy say you shouldn't be letting them cut anything out of your animals because it leaves an open space. And that space then fills, and that's what happened with my daughter's dog. Because he got the cancer. Then they said, well, they needed to take his spleen out or something. And then that left an open space. And it did something like bloat or something. And that's what I thought that they said it creates. They said it creates like I don't know, kind of a vacuum, air sucking back. I don't know. But anyways, this vet guy was saying you shouldn't be letting them cut anything. And which I think there's going to be more of that and more of that, where we're going to see these fucking these kill shelters right now too. It's like every fucking dog, man. They're cutting out their eye, they're cutting off their leg. It's like, oh my fucking god, dang, god, this stuff is so brutal. And these are souls. These aren't just things like, I mean, these fucking crickets have souls. Yeah, I don't know. We all go and meet at a table. They would identify themselves in the same way as I would, but we all have some kind of thing that's energizing us, that's making us alive. And so, anyways, they just want to, practice and cut us apart, and because that is kind of like where it initially came from, was a lab. And so human beings, so you have this group, and it's kind of like that they isolated themselves into this area and created their own little home front so they could test on us and shit. And then in other countries, they got in contact, or if places have been infiltrated, like there's bad guys, and then they kind of create a web. That's how they kind of created their laundry system. Because there's places that are so beat down. What was that one I just saw the other day? It was, because you think of Venezuela always as being so beat down. It was Grenada or something, someplace. It was like, because like in Venezuela, like it's $8 to buy one roll of toilet paper. This place, it was, I don't even remember what the thing was, like something about if it's food, like, because in Venezuela, man, they are like, if you have a quarter to eat for a day, like you got, you're doing good. It's so full of criminals too, because that's what they do. They create criminals when people become poor and desperate. But I can't remember now what it was, but it was in this other place. It's like, oh my god. It's just the control of, like, people don't get what they need. People can't have what they need. And maybe that was about water or something. I can't remember. But anyways, they're just fucking with, we're not the only place that's being fucked with. Some of these places, they've already squashed them. And so over here is like, America is like their biggest congratulations to each other. Like, look, we did it. Look what we've done. And yeah, it's been working. People have been, we've been just being run, man. But now it's time to wake up and see how they've been running us, and taking responsibility for ourselves, taking responsibility for our own behaviors and stuff, and to reconnect back with our soul. That's the awakening thing, is this reconnection back to your soul and finding balance, because everybody's so out of balance, because everybody's so caught up in the dark. But that's what this place was created. They wanted to consume us in the dark. But but that universe had different plans, and it's bumpers up to the Age of Aquarius thing as to where we're going. And I know there's lots of people that think like it's the Armageddon is the end or whatever, but maybe it's the end for them, but it's not the end for everybody. It's not the end of being alive. It's not the end of all worlds. Like, there's millions of realms and worlds and realities, and you have millions, billions of opportunities of existence. So, whatever goes down is meant to go down. And the thing is it's like a part of the lessons. Like, it has to go down in this way because it's what creates the change. It's what makes the lessons that creates this new world. And so, everything is the way it's supposed to be. That's all I know. And there's nothing to fear. And so people gotta, I don't know. Everybody just keeps being so scared of everything. And that just shows how cut off people are from their own spirit and from what is real. Because that's what's real. Your spirit is what's real. The rest of this is just bullshit. the the color you are, the size you are, what you look like, that's all just like you've morphed yourself into that for this experience so that you can experience whatever it is that it's there to teach you, because that's what it's about. You're here to learn and to grow and to experience, because experience creates the evolution, it creates the growth, it creates the expansion. So anyways, that's what we are doing. We are learning and growing and expanding. And it goes against the grain of these controllers because they are about stagnation. They would just soon keep us trapped in they would just soon keep us trapped in a fucking black box for, like, they get off on that. They would just, I don't know, I can see them just like putting you in a computer game and then them being happy for fucking ever, just fucking with you in a computer game. I just make them happy for the rest of their fucking days. But their days just go on and on and on. Like, I don't think their days end anything like how humans have been going. But oh yeah, there's way more now people talking about vampires are real, and they're all over in New Orleans, that's real, and that there's werewolves, which that's real, and there's shapeshift. All that stuff is real. It's always been real, and it's not anything new. It's just like when you start all of a sudden realizing about it, then people start getting scared about it. It's like, well, it's all this stuff has been around you the whole time. And, there's people, like, the human trade thing is so huge. Like, you don't need to be scared of a vampire is going to get you. It's like, we've been dodging being ate the whole time we've been here. And obviously we outnumber them because the numbers of the humans grow. And so, if they need to eat us, they've got a surplus. And maybe that's why then they're like, hey, we can wipe out 3/4 of these ones. We only need that many, and we'll be fine. Well, and that shows, like, we outnumber them by a lot. And the numbers are going to start showing. Just like in the weirdness of this world, where the people who are the minority have the loudest voice. It's like, well, it's all going to flip. And the majority is on the side of... it's on the side of, oh God, I've got a bunch of words going in my head. Confucianism. It is on the side of Confucianism, but it's on the side of, well, that's the only thing I can hear now. But anyways, it's on the side of human compassion or whatever, or the growth, the expansion. So it's, it's the splitting apart of the light and the dark, of seeing the dark. That's what splits it from the light, because when so many people can't differentiate, they can't tell. Once you can start seeing, that's why I said it's so much about your morals and what you witness and seeing and questioning things, because that is how it splits apart. The dark, being seen for what it is what creates the separation. So you have to be able to separate in your mind and see and look at things in a deeper way, because there is an illusion, there is a trickery to this stuff where people are very upside down on how they look at it. And so many people, yeah, are following the dark and they think it's the light. And so, but that's why you got to question things. You got to look at things deeper. You can't just be like, well, of course I'm on board. Of course, you know, I'm an academic. I'm the smartest one out here. So, of course I'm on the right team. Well, okay. We'll see. Is that the ego is here to witness itself, too. You're here to see yourself in a way you've never seen yourself before. So, anyways, the academics will soon see themselves in a new light. But anyways, you know, because they all think they're smarter. You know, that's a big thing. Conservatives are stupid and liberals are smart. So, anyways, just let it go, let it go, let it go, let God. It's all gonna play out. But play your part, you know. Don't ignore. Look at how much more hair that is getting. Don't hide from your part. Play your part, and be true to yourself. Be real, and even if that's an ignorance, you know, be real, because you're here to learn, to get out of it. So don't deny it. Don't hide from it. Feel it and learn from it. So, anyways, that's, you know, I don't know. I feel like I just say the same thing over and over. But, anyways, the drive is here. So, and when they just mess with my thing, I gotta keep myself from being all caught up in it, being like, fuck this bullshit. I'm not even gonna fucking do that. They just pull my things, they block it and shit. It is that aggravating. It is, where you want to just throw the fucking towel in, like, fuck this shit. So aggravating, but that's what they want. They want us to quit talking about it. They want us to quit trying to get people to see, you know, because that's what the whole thing is just talking about it. It helps people to remember. It helps people to see what they have forgotten. And so, anyways, that's what I'm doing here, is to remind you to learn how to love yourself, because it's important. It's vital to this whole thing. So learning how to love yourself and loving everybody, and learning how to have the day that you want to have, because it's totally up to you. You have the power. You have the power. It's inside of you. So anyways, I'm here to remind you. So I will do it again tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.